Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl from the Stitchy Bee vlog, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 3 beginner sewing patterns. I thought it'd be quite useful to put them together to give you some tips. Okay, first up is New Look 6217, which is what I'm wearing today. Here's a link to the image on the actual packet, which I don't think is very inspiring at all. It's a little bit dull, but obviously if you get some fantastic fabrics and play around with it yourself, you can make a more snazzy version. So yeah, this is it. It's very simple to make. I've made this slightly large for myself actually. I could do with making a size down, but I wanted to see how it fits. It's quite true to size, so if you're a 12 or 14, just make your size and see how it goes. There are 3 pieces to this pattern, a front and 2 back pieces, and the closure is a simple button loop and the little keyholes turned in, which is quite easy to do. It's a good technique builder as well, so you can omit the back seam, which I did on this version here, but I actually prefer it with a little bit of interest, otherwise it's quite plain. Although you can see I get away with it with this top because it's such a loud print. This is a really fine Japanese cotton. I bought this from Abakhan a couple of years ago. So you can see how different they can be. You could have a wardrobe full of these and I'd never get tired of wearing them. This is my favourite one because it's just so easy, and it irons really well too. So yeah, in terms of neckline, I turned over this neckline and made a tiny hem, which you could do, and the same for the sleeve and the actual lower hem itself. Or on this version I created some bias binding from the same fabric, which I think helps with a silky satin fabric that moves a lot. But it depends on the fabric and your skills really. It's entirely up to you, but give it a go. Okay, for my next pattern, I've chosen a jersey dress, which you may not think would be too much of a beginner pattern, but this is it. This is McCalls 6886, and it's a pullover dress with no closures. Very simple pattern. It's just got a front, a back and 2 sleeves. Again, this is a great way to learn how to insert sleeves if it's your first dress. And the reason I picked this, even though it's jersey, is because I made this from a quilted jersey fabric from minervacrafts.com. I'll pop a link to that in the comments below. I think they've actually sold out of the black at the moment, but they do have other colours. Now, I made this for a works Christmas party in a winter time. This is quite nylon-y. It's not the best feeling fabric on the inside, to be honest, but I love how it looks and keeps its shape. I've not pinned this at the back at all. It's super well shaped. The pattern actually comes with a really nice curve. It's very flattering. So I think that's fantastic. It's very good pattern. It's quite bodycon, so just maybe make it slightly larger and then sew in the side seams when you've got a good fit. But yeah, it's a brilliant popular pattern. There are loads of versions actually to have a look at on the Sewing Pattern Review site. I'll pop a link to that below. You could see all the different variations and versions that people have made, so I recommend you take a look there. But yeah, nice easy one for the second pattern. Okay, next up we have the Sew Over It Ultimate Shift Dress, which is a fantastic pattern for lightweight cottons and woven fabrics. So here she is, and you can see the length roughly, kind of knee length-ish. I'm a big tunic fan and I wear this. I've worn this to death actually. I've had this a couple of years and it's falling to bits, so I do need to make some more. The great thing about this is it's 3 pieces to the actual bodice. So there's a front piece, and at the back there's 2 halves here. A simple closure similar to the New Look 6217 top. It's a simple button and a little rouleau loop I've put on here, or you could make a thread loop. And then the sleeve is I think you get a choice of sleeves on this, but I've made it 3/4 to keep it nice and summery and lightweight. It absolutely fits me perfectly. It's completely true to size, with no alterations at all, which is unusual for me. I usually lengthen everything because I'm 5'10", but this is absolutely perfect. In terms of skills required for a beginner, there is a facing to attach on the inside, which I like to finish with bias binding, but you could overlock yours. So that's a little bit tricky. You've got to get it to lie flat. It's worth taking your time on that part. But again, it's a learning curve. So for a really simple dress, it's not going to give you too many problems throughout the rest of it. It's worth spending that time on the neck. There are 2 bust darts here and here. Again, really simple to do. There are some great tutorials online. So they're great. Just remember to press them the correct way. And that's pretty much it. I'm not sure if you're aware, but it comes as a PDF pattern or a printed pattern. With the PDF patterns, I've grown to love them. They're a little bit scary at first because it's 32 pages to print off. So the way I tackle PDFs is to print them off one day, and then I'll stick them together the next with a cup of tea and maybe a film on, and then I'll start sewing the following day. So don't try and tackle it all at once. It's easier to spread it out over a couple of days, and get yourself a paper trimmer, that helps. So yeah, there you go. And this comes as a printed pattern as well, so if you're not into PDFs, you can order from Sew Over It. I'll pop a link to their site below. Okay, so that's my 3 for this week. Next week, as we film this, I've just bought the Sew Over It kimono jacket. So I'm gonna have a bash at that. That's another great beginner pattern. It looks quite simple to do. I'm hoping to sew mine in this fabulous Liberty Tana lawn. I say hoping because I'm not quite sure if I've got enough. You do need just over 2 meters. I think I can probably squeeze 2 meters out of this piece here, so we'll see. But I like it because it's drapey, and I've been looking for a kimono jacket for spring summer. So hopefully I'll have it in this. If it's not in this, it'll be in a different fabric. So if you want to subscribe, you can pop back next week and see my review on that. Thank you very much for tuning in. Take care. Happy sewing.